I'm 38 male, work in finance. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that numbers don't lie. People do. And the people closest to you, they're the ones who can lie to your face with a smile. I married my wife 6 years ago. She had a daughter from a previous marriage who was 13 when we got together. I knew stepping into the role of stepfather wouldn't be easy, but I tried. I provided for them, made sure they never worried about money, put my stepdaughter through private school, and covered every unexpected expense. And yet, somehow, I became the villain. It started small. My stepdaughter was spoiled, bratty, entitled, the kind of kid who thought rules didn't apply to her. I figured she'd grow out of it. My wife, on the other hand, she fed into it. Anytime I set a boundary, I was too harsh. Anytime I suggested my stepdaughter take responsibility, I was picking on her. It was always the two of them against me, and I let it slide because I thought it was just teenage rebellion. Turns out it wasn't. One night, I came home exhausted from work and walked straight into an argument. My stepdaughter was screaming at my wife because I had forgotten to send her money for some shopping spree she had planned with her friends. Mind you, she was 19, perfectly capable of getting a job. "I don't understand why you're so selfish," she yelled at me. "You make plenty of money. It's not even yours. It's mom's too." I set my bag down and exhaled. That's not how this works. You don't just demand money because you feel like it. Her face twisted in frustration. "Why don't you just disappear?" That one hit me. But before I could even process it, my wife, standing right beside her, scoffed and said, "Honestly, we'd be better off without you." It was so casual, like they had discussed it before, like they actually meant it. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I just turned around, walked upstairs, and started packing. By the time I reached the front door, my lawyer's number was already dialed. And that was the moment everything changed. I checked into a hotel that night, and the next morning, I was sitting across from my lawyer. He was an older guy who had been handling my financials for years. He leaned back, listening as I laid everything out. "I want out," I said, "and I want them to get exactly what they deserve." First thing he asked me was if my wife's name was on anything. Nope. The house? Mine. The cars? Mine. The savings? My personal accounts. My wife had lived comfortably because I allowed it, but legally, she had no claim beyond whatever spousal support the court might award her. And thanks to the ironclad prenup I had insisted on before marriage, despite her whining about trust, she wasn't getting half of everything. "She's going to fight this," my lawyer warned. "Expect dirty tricks." I was counting on it. The moment I filed for divorce, she went full victim mode. Called my family, our friends, even my coworkers, sobbing about how I had abandoned them out of nowhere. "He just walked out," she wailed in a voicemail to my sister. "We didn't even do anything." Meanwhile, my stepdaughter took to social media, making me out to be a controlling jerk who hated her. She posted screenshots of her texts, but of course, cropped to make me look like the bad guy. Their plan? Make me look so guilty that I'd cave and keep paying for their lifestyle. But here's where they messed up. They'd spent years treating me like a wallet, never once preparing for the possibility that the money might stop. When I left, I stopped paying for everything. The mortgage? They assumed I'd keep covering it. The credit cards? Canceled. The car my stepdaughter drove? Leased under me. Repossessed. Reality hit them like a truck. First, my wife called me, playing nice, acting like we could work this out. When I didn't take the bait, she turned nasty. "You think you can just leave us with nothing?" she snapped. "You said you'd be better off without me," I reminded her. "So prove it." She tried taking me to court, demanding alimony and part of the house. But that prenup shut that down fast. The judge gave her a small spousal support payment, not even close to what she expected. My stepdaughter? She was worse. She called me, crying, saying she had no way to pay her rent. She begged me to at least help her out since she had given up so much to be part of my family. "You're 19, I said. "Plenty of people work at 19. She screamed at me and hung up. Then came the real dirty tricks. My wife suddenly started claiming I had been emotionally abusive, that I had isolated them. She never outright accused me of physical abuse, just implied it enough that people started whispering. She tried to take me to court again, this time pushing for a bigger settlement on the grounds of emotional distress. My lawyer destroyed her case. We had bank records, text messages, proof that she had been draining my money for years while contributing nothing. Every baseless claim she made, dismantled. She left the courtroom with next to nothing. With no financial support, no house, and no more easy money, they spiraled fast. My stepdaughter had to move in with her grandmother, who wasn't nearly as indulgent as I had been. My wife. Last I heard, she was couch surfing between friends, trying to find a way to maintain the lifestyle she thought she deserved. Months passed, and I was thriving. I upgraded my car, remodeled my house, erased every trace of them from my life, and even started dating again. This time, someone who actually appreciated me. Then, one day my ex-wife called me, probably expecting me to cave now that things were tough for her. I know things got bad between us. She started, trying to sound sincere. I just wanted to talk. Maybe meet up? Get some closure. I smirked. Closure? Yeah, she rushed. Maybe we were too hasty. Maybe we can work things out. There it was. I already did work things out, I said. I cut dead weight from my life, and now I'm better off. Just like you said you'd be. She stammered. That's not. I didn't mean. I'm sure you didn't, I interrupted. But you did mean it when you and your daughter told me to disappear. So I did. And I'm not coming back. Her voice wavered. So that's it. That's it, I said. Enjoy your freedom. I hung up, blocked her number. Last I heard, she was struggling to find work, and her friends had disappeared once they realized there were no more free dinners or shopping sprees. My stepdaughter? She bounced from place to place, never quite landing on her feet. Meanwhile, I was finally living. They said they'd be better off without me, so I made sure they were. And I never looked back. If you like this story, hit that subscribe button. Unlike my ex-wife, I won't take your money and run.